Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I've been goofing around with the latest snapshot, learning about all the new features and stuff inside of this one. You could consider this video more of like a deep dive on these new things, and wow, I've been learning lots about the Happy Ghast. Oh yeah, and also, check this out. I got the cape! I completed the event! And this thing actually has a little bit of a secret, but we can't see it in Minecraft itself. If we jump over to the Minecraft launcher and I rotate this around, can you see it? Let's zoom in a little bit. Yeah, look at that. The portal has like an overworld and a sky on the inside. And then there's the Elytra question. Does this cape also have Jack Black on it? The answer is yes. Yes, it does. I'm not sure how I feel about this. But hey, there it is. 3 capes with Jack Black's face on it. And I guess now's a great opportunity to let you know they extended the event for which you can unlock this Yearn cape. You've now got 4 days to get your hands on this cape. And if you want it, you should totally go and check out this video on my channel. That's your guide on how to get through all the challenges for the cape. This should make it a lot easier to unlock. All right, it's time to get into things. And yes, we've got a snow golem cannon here that is aggroing these creepers. I hope that sucker doesn't get too close. We will come back to that in just a moment. The first part of this video, though, is all about the Happy Ghast and the things that I've learned about it. So Happy Ghast can actually survive in the Nether, which probably isn't a surprise. What was surprising to me is that it'll peacefully coexist with the regular Ghast. And the question is, can you tell them apart? This one right here is a regular Ghast. We know this because it can go through lava, so there is a big distinction. Let's grab a Happy Ghast, put it down here, and you can see it doesn't survive the fire. That information might have been useful. This next bit, definitely not. What on earth's going on here? I've got a tiny Happy Ghast. Yeah, I'm just messing around with the entity scale, so I summoned one in to be deliberately small, but here's something cool to show you. You can leash them and use them to move them around. This is essentially faster than their movement speed, so I can tempt a Happy Ghast with a harness, but as I move this way, you'll see this one just comes much faster because I'm pulling it with the lead. And you can go pretty fast doing this on land. So if I sprint off into the distance, this thing will come with me a lot faster. Now we know that the Happy Ghast is immune to the speed potion effect, but it's actually immune to pretty much all potion effects here. So I've got like oozing, infesting, swiftness, slowness. None of these actually have an effect on the Ghast, and you can see it's got no particle effects around it. We can also throw poison at it, and it doesn't get poisoned. From my testing, there are only 2 splash potion types that actually affect the Ghast. That is the potion of harming and the potion of healing. You can also use a wind charge on the Ghast, but because it doesn't have a panic for damage, the wind charge will push it away and then it will continue on whatever path it's on. So it's heading towards me, it gets pushed away, and you can see it turns around and keeps trying to go to wherever it's going. Now the Happy Ghast's size is actually 4x4 blocks, so what I can do is summon that one in there and then push it into this space a little bit. Now you'll see it's actually captured inside of this very spot. And when we stand on top of it, it will then be cardinally aligned, which happens to be very neat the way it all lines up. This allows you to do something really silly just using end rods. This is now completely locked into position with a total of 6 end rods. And if I tempt it, it can kind of like break the rotation inside of this space a little bit. Anyways, I've got it trapped inside of this space to show you a couple of things. We previously stood on top of the Happy Ghast when it had a harness, and you can stand on it without a harness. You can also flip it upside down with a Dinnerbone name tag. And yes, this means you can stand on its bottom side and walk among its little tendrils. This is really, really weird. And if you imagine for a second that we've got another one of these captured just over here, and you put some white carpet in between them, and then you can walk through it and just have the weirdest floor design ever. And on the Bedrock edition of the game, entities can't stand on top of it unless the player is already standing on top of this. As soon as I move away, it falls off. But on Java edition, this isn't the same for minecarts. As you can see, that's allowed to stay on there. And the other entity is the boat. And both of these can have storage, and they can stay on top of the Ghast. The only thing is, when you fly away, they're just going to basically fall straight off. Now I'm very curious about these fellas. I think the snow golems help keep that in the middle, but it causes extra spinning. Why the spinning? Oh my goodness me, testing stuff is just so much fun. Can I not tempt you? Can I not tempt you to come with me? Right, now I'm in control. And it looks like the snow golems are going to help keep the chest boat on here. Wow. It looks a little bit dodgy, like it might pop through, but it's actually working. This could be a way to bring some more storage with you. Now, you might remember when it rains in this game, the Ghast is going to be able to regenerate its health. It can't do this when the game is raining if it's in a hot biome and rain isn't actually touching it. It has to go and touch the rain to get the regeneration effect. This will regenerate its health really quickly, but it does have its own passive regeneration. It seems like every 30 seconds or so it will regenerate a heart. And this next bit is kind of cruel. You can actually drown a Ghast because you can go underwater with it. If you time it right, the player doesn't get kicked off. You also can't use a water breathing potion on this mob to keep it alive. And if you go any deeper, it'll kick the player off and then it will try and fly out as long as the player isn't still standing on top of it. So these mobs can technically go underwater for a little bit. And let's come back to our snow golems. It looks like I found their remains in the water here. There wasn't actually too much else to tell you about this. We used the ride command to get the nearest snow golem and then send it to the nearest Happy Ghast. So there isn't a survival way to do this, but you can, put another entity onto your Happy Ghasts. So let's put 3 of them up there. I'll hop on as well, and then we can go on our merry way together. And yes, you could probably have a lot of fun with experimenting with all sorts of other types of mobs sitting on the Happy Ghast. But that's our deep dive on this mob for now. If you got any more questions, put them in the comments down below. Maybe I can follow up on them in a future Snapshot video. And if you want to watch my Snapshot videos and keep up with the Minecraft news, you know what I'm going to say. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can catch those videos. Next up is the turn of the dried Ghast, our ugly cute block, which I've been experimenting around with. This block can actually be interacted with by redstone, which is super cool. So let's go ahead and waterlog it, and then we can unwaterlog it as well. Now, I couldn't think much of a use for this unless you wanted to sort of keep one in your base decoratively or just hear its sounds. You could put like a 19-minute timer on this thing so that it never fully ages and then you dehydrate it again. And that honestly might be a little bit cruel, right? You can also move it with a piston. The block is movable. You can also detect updates to its growth cycle. You won't detect the little particle effects appearing above the block though. So let's go ahead and do a tick sprint to speed the game up. And here is your evidence that the game is sprinting right now. And so the Ghast has hydrated to the next stage and the lamp has been turned on because it was detected by the observer. Whoa! Ah, that freaked me out, man. It's making some noises. Oh, that's too good. Next up, I got some amazing stuff to show you with the Locator Bar. I teleported out to a random place to do this with, and I found the loneliest little island with just armadillos stranded on it. This is so cruel, says the guy who's just been torturing Ghasts for the last couple of hours. Okay, this looks like a much better location to show you what's up with the location bar. And keep in mind, this thing is going to be absolutely amazing for custom features like UHC game mode or attaching waypoints to structures and even boss mobs. But to get into this, we need to start with the Waypoint command that I actually kind of skipped over. If we use Waypoint list, we can see that I'm the only thing in this world that currently has a waypoint. Now, as soon as another player joins the game, the waypoint bar appears because this is on by default for players. Using this command, we can actually modify a waypoint for a player. We can change its color. Let's go ahead with gold, and bam, look at that. Down here on the waypoint bar, it's now gold. You can also specify hex, which allows you to do a custom color. So let's go with this one right here. And now we get bright red as the waypoint color. The third part of this command is that you can also just reset it back to default. I briefly showed these parameters for the Waypoint command in my video, but I've now fully understood them, and so far we've covered these ones. So now we go to check out fade. Now this looks complicated, but it's actually quite simple. The fade start and fade end is simply the distance from which the fading effect starts and ends in terms of blocks. Alpha start and alpha end are the values for its opacity. So in-game, I've added the fade effect to my alt account, and this has this side effect of having the waypoint bar show up, but nothing on it for that entity. Anyway, as I approach, you're going to see it fade into existence, and when I'm all the way up here, it will be fully visible. As I back away, it slowly fades out. So the fading starts 10 blocks away from the entity and concludes when you're 1 block away. And this 1 represents it being fully opaque and the 0 represents it being not visible. So if I change that to 0.5, we'll always be able to see it. And there you go. It's now visible at half transparency. If I then change this value, so it's 5 blocks away, when we get 5 blocks close to the entity, it will be fully visible on the hotbar. That's pretty cool and highly customizable. I really like this feature. Okay, now what we're doing next is where things are really going to get wild. You see, there is another aspect to this, which is the waypoint transmission range and receive range, which is an attribute applied to entities. Players will get these by default, which is why we can see the two of us on the locator bar. But in order to give this to all other entities in the world, we need to run the attribute command at them so that they give themselves a waypoint transmission range. And then they're going to appear on the waypoint bar. I thought this big open space would be a nice way to see the mobs on the surface, but the thing is, we haven't actually got too many of them. So I brought in a few friends to help us demonstrate. Let's go ahead and press this button, and look at that down there. Absolutely wild, full of entities in all different directions. And to be fair, there's too many of them to like single out some of these mobs. If I travel away, things start to space out. Mobs can also despawn as well, so let's actually go really far out. I'm not sure that there's actually less of them now that we've headed back to this area. Anyways, let's keep in mind that there's caves down here full of creepers, skeletons, zombies, and spiders. Those are the classic 4 hostile mobs. And what we're going to do is put all of the creepers into a team called Creeper. And then using the Waypoint command, we're going to target all of those creepers and change their color to green. That should affect the way the bar down the bottom here looks. So we target the creepers, then we change their waypoints to green. I mean, yeah, I can see there's definitely more green ones now. So we can do the same thing for skeletons. Over here, we've got the spiders, which will get turned to black. And last of all, zombies. Because of all the other entities, that wasn't quite as effective as I thought it would be. I am not sure if you can use a kill command with multiple negatives, but if it works, we'll get rid of everything else in the world. I think it kind of worked. Oh no, this totally worked. Look at that. You can really tell where things are. So now let's use this to go find some skeletons. There's a bunch in this area. And now as we get close and fly around them, look at the location bar. This is cool. Okay, I'm now using this thing to hone in on a creeper. You can see it here on the bar, as well as these other skeletons nearby. Hopefully that was a cool demonstration of how this works. You're also supposed to be able to define the color of these waypoints through a team color, but currently this doesn't actually work. So the skeleton that I have down here is still white. However, there was a dev in my stream from Mojang who said this was a bug that they should be fixing. So let me use this opportunity to plug my live streams, which take place on Twitch. We're just looking at my second channel where the VODs go. And so yesterday I did all the testing that you've seen in this video during a live stream. It was an immense amount of fun, and I think I might try and do this more often on Wednesdays. After a snapshot, we'll do a stream the next day where we goof around and learn more about what's been added. Anyways, that's it for me this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, and I'm showing you the cape once again just to remind you can still get it for a few more days if you are after it. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. I'll see you soon with another. Bye bye.